It's Hockey Heaven at 11. Campbell versus Gallo. Simon Salikis in for Mitch Gallo. Mr. Dave Pagnotta from the fourth period. How you doing, Dave?
Not bad, boys. Not bad. Better than the folks in Raleigh right now.
Oh yeah, we could start there. I don't see how Carolina can put up even a fight right now in Game 4.
Yeah, I mean, me neither. The way that they've played, not overly indicative of a team in a conference final. I mean, a couple of years ago when they got swept, and Roddy Brindamore said, "Well, we didn't get swept, but we didn't, whatever." Those were tight games. Those were close games. Those were tight games. I understood what he was trying to say. There's nothing here. Like this time around, totally different ballgame. Florida has been dominating from start to finish, and minus a little bit of, I guess, the first half of the game, or even the first two periods of Game 3 were relatively tight, and then Florida just unleashed. And whether it's Anderson in net, Kochetkov, it doesn't really matter. Brindamore said it after Game 3 as well. Their top guys aren't their top guys, and until those guys wake up or start contributing offensively significantly, it's lights out. I mean, maybe everything goes right for Carolina tonight, and they pull something off here. But I don't see them winning 4 straight. I don't see them winning 4 straight against Florida, and I don't see Florida losing 4 straight to anybody. So, I mean, from Carolina's perspective, good season, tough way to end, and it's either ending tonight or Wednesday for me at the latest.
Dave, I guess, look, are we maybe not giving the Florida Panthers enough credit? Like, I know that in Toronto, the Leafs took a beating for their Game 5 and Game 7 performance. But at the end of the day here, I was on the weekend, and this Florida Panthers team, not there just yet, but we're talking about Yzerman Red Wings here. We're talking about Forsberg and Sakic Avalanche. That's where, you start getting to 3 Stanley Cups in a row. Yeah. Probably going to be the favorite to go back-to-back if they get there, right? Even if it's Edmonton or Dallas, Vegas will still probably have them as the favorites. But maybe we're giving enough credit to how good this Florida Panthers squad is.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think overall. I don't think we are. For me, and it's funny too, because I was looking at this team and how they've played, and obviously I covered the Leafs series, so I was looking at, I had the opportunity to see them, 4 times, and this team, to me, the way that they play, the depth that they have, the continued growth of guys like Lundell and Luosterainen. Like this team, I got to say, probably better than the team that won the Cup last year, which is scary. You've got the guys that won, the bulk of this team intact. You add different pieces. Again, the growth of the young kids, and then you've added Brad Marchand to the mix, who has given them 3 lines that can dominate the possession battle, dominate offensively, dominate physically, and get under the skin. And then you add Seth Jones to the back end, and you modify his game throughout the rest of the regular season going into the playoffs. This team, the way that they perform, the depth that they have, it's just remarkable. I think, I agree with you. I think regardless of who they end up playing, the Edmonton Oilers or the Dallas Stars, and the Stanley Cup will start out west, regardless of the winner. I've got Florida as the favorite as well, and the way that they're playing and they continue at this pace, you're talking about repeat and maybe more. The way that this team plays, and the longer that Sergei Bobrovsky in net can also perform at this level. Like, he was decent in the first round, and then started to kind of emerge and wake up in the early part around game 4, especially, of the second round. When you've got all of those elements together, that D word is going to creep up on everybody quick.
Just get back to Carolina here, Dave, for a second. Look, it's a good team. They make the playoffs every year. They usually get out of the first round. They've gone to a couple of conference final appearances. It is ridiculous that the number might go to 0-15 or 0-16. That's nuts. But what are they doing this offseason? We spend a lot of time talking about what the team in this city is going to do and Toronto's going to do and everywhere else. But can the Carolina Hurricanes, are they enticing perhaps to a Mitch Marner, to a Matt Duchene? I doubt Sam Bennett, but let's just throw his name in the mix as well. Do the Carolina Hurricanes this offseason kind of go outside of their box and maybe not get the world's greatest 200-foot player, but somebody that has a little bit of playoff jam?
Look, these guys have almost $30 million in cap space.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah, and at least up front, there's no major free agent that they've got. Not even a restricted RFA. On the back end, you got Burns and you got Orlov. You got to decide what you want to do there on both of those guys. Burns, I think he's 40 now, so you're going to have some questions there. But that's a lot of money. That's $30 million that they've got. It might be just a smidge under it. They're going to be active. And they took big swings last year. They brought in Gensel. They took the big swing this year with Rantanen. Didn't work. They flipped them. I like the return. I like what they got. But with $30 million in cap space, there's no doubt in my mind that they are going after Mitch Marner if he hits the open market. Excuse me. And look, with respect to Mitch, he's not going to be. They're not going to be the only one. Certainly he's going to have the pick of the litter. But with $30 million in cap space, depending how aggressive they want to be, and that owner wants to win. That owner is itching to win. So to green light a lot of these moves, like he's been in the thick of those discussions. He wants to do what he can to win. And now it's a matter of finding those pieces that are going to put you over the top. Again, no doubt in my mind they're going to pursue Mitch Marner if he's there July 1. But also, they're going to add additional pieces on top of it. And that's where those intangible kind of playoff performers come into play for a team like this. With the bulk of their roster intact going into next season, minus a little bit of shape-shifting on defense that they're going to have to do, reshaping. They have the potential of adding some pieces here to get them out of this little rut, this conference final rut that they're in, and they're going to be an interesting player this summer.
Chatting with Dave Pagnotta, the fourth period, Hockey Heaven at 11, Campbell versus Gallo Simon Salikis in for Mitch Gallo. I'm Sean Campbell. All right, coming in, you heard a couple highlights. Connor McDavid doing Connor McDavid things. He's back to leading